were you starting to play music, and up to the point where, like, how did you end up in Austin?
When I was a kid, I took piano lessons. We got a piano and we had piano lessons. I kind of
Mhm.
feel like, I don't want to say it was forced, but it was like, yeah, you should do this. I took saxophone in elementary school and
Amazing.
in middle school and in high school. Uh, I was okay,
Were you
but
what did
I
you have moves, like wild moves while you were playing sax, or were you just
no, I
playing pretty
sat
straight?
down. I,
You
I
sat
preferred
down,
to
okay.
sit. Yeah, I mean, I was in jazz bands,
Disappointing, but okay.
stage band in school. I was a pretty mellow kid.
It's
I was
fine,
at the
it's fine.
stage band in school, and when marching band happened in when I was living in Michigan, basically, if you were going to be in band, you had to be in marching band, and I did that BS for like a year, and then was
Mhm.
like, I cannot get excited about this, and
No, not
it was
marching
like going to be
band? Wasn't fun at all?
no, I hated it. It
Huh.
was my senior year, and I was planning on going to college and had all these classes I needed to take, and so I ditched band, and
Mhm.
for the first time since the fourth grade, I ditched band, and it was a big deal. So I was that kid that was making mixtapes for everybody.
Oh, cool.
Um, that's how we found each other,
Mm,
through our music and turning people on to music, and the people who were really into that and receptive to that. That's how
yeah.
we found our friends. I was in high school in the 80s,
Mhm.
and that's what it was. It's all about mixtapes. I had a dual cassette deck, and
Nice.
I could do anything.
Yeah.
I could
Uh-huh.
also I could use my dual cassette deck and my Walkman speakers that I would hang over the little microphone part of my dual cassette boombox,
Hmm.
and I could multi-track myself. So
Okay, that's really quite advanced in the 80s, like,
that's all I had. I was
yeah,
it's
you're a producer early
necessity.
on.
Yeah, hell yeah. Playing music was never something I was like, I can't get enough of knowing how this works. I really enjoy playing. I enjoy playing live. I love playing with my band. I love recording. I love writing, but I'm not hungry for the codes and secrets.
Right,
It's
right.
like it's a tool.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I've never been like a gearhead. I've never been someone who is like falling down rabbit holes with techniques
Mhm.
or chord voicings or anything like that. I didn't get that way about anything in my life until I started pursuing visual art, which was really recently.
Oh,
And
really?
I'm
Okay, whoa, 'cause that you
pretty
seem
insatiable. I'm
yeah.
a crazy gearhead. I could talk about art supplies with anyone all effing day long.
Wow, okay.
Um, I have dreams about like ink.
So this has become, I mean, this has really taken over your life and
In a
in a lot of
wonderful way.
ways. Yeah.
I mean, I always wanted it to. Since I was a kid, I always wanted to be a visual artist, but I had been given this belief that either you had it or you didn't, and I
Yeah.
clearly didn't have it.
Mhm.
So the pursuit would be futile. No, I wasn't encouraged to pursue music, from my family, but
Mhm.
I could recognize that I had pitch and that I had vocal abilities
Yeah.
that were good enough or a little better than good enough that I could easily hone. Like I had an understanding
Yeah.
of how this works and thought, well, then that's obviously the thing I should be doing because it's more natural to me. But really, the thing
Right.
you should be doing is the thing you cannot get enough of
Yeah.
because to get good, you have to study and you have to practice. And when that feels like what you would rather be doing than anything else anyway,
Yeah.
you're golden. And that's
Whoa.
kind of
Yeah.
like where I am now, you know.
That's amazing. That's great to hear. I first heard about you because Darwin Smith was a friend of yours, and he produced my first record. And he said you should check out Seela. You should come out and hear her play. And you were one of the first singer songwriters that I went out to hear, and was so inspired by. You did have this gift for communicating your own heartfelt, I guess, experiences or emotions I loved your melodies. Your voice was very rich and warm and interesting. It was unique to me. Um, and you were able to captivate my attention, which is difficult. And
Woohoo!
with just you and your acoustic guitar. And so you were definitely one of those people in Austin that I was like, she's doing it. I could maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do this and find my own voice if I just keep at it. Also, I went to see you at the Elephant Room. You were doing this whole other, like you were into jazz and doing like
Yeah.
kicking ass at it. I don't understand jazz, but I mean, I'm just one of these people that if I see something and if, I'm like, that's good. Like, I don't know anything about it, but it's great. I could sit here all night and listen to her sing and the band and watch them. It was so interesting. I'd never seen just people making music like that. And and then on the other side of it, you were really cool and nice to me, and so all of that. But you were one of the big inspirations that I say I'm still doing this because of the everyone I met along the way that made me think, give it a go. But
No, that's great. That's an honor. And I remember seeing you in the audience and being like, oh good, cool people are here. Good. Like, like, okay, we can still get a couple of cool people in. Awesome. It always felt good to see you there. And
oh man, well that's cool because at the time, like someone thinking I was cool, I just thought I was a little dork, a singer songer. Like I was like I felt like an imposter, an outsider, an intruder.
I think
I
those are the
didn't.
people the people who feel like that are the ones that are drawn to art. I mean, even though a lot of
Weirdos. Yeah.
people I think who have been a success or have just been at it a long time, they'll come across as total arrogant jerks that know they're the shit, but like inside, you'll
Mm,
find this little nugget of a person that's like, oh, I hope they don't figure out I'm a total fraud.
yeah,
Because
yeah. Who am I kidding?
yeah,
Uh,
like,
but
don't look
uh,
too close. Excuse me, someone's making a request.
is it
I started
Liza?
performing.
Oh, look who dressed up for the party. Oh my
You didn't roll
goodness.
and poop today. That was great.
Liza, you look fantastic. Really.
Yeah. My record came out in July, which I don't know how smart that was to release a record in the middle of the pandemic, but
I
we
think
didn't
it's
know it was the
great.
middle.
I think it's
We thought
great.
it was almost over. I don't know. Thanks. But they're all my ideas, my plans to tour Texas this summer to push the record and
Uh-huh.
to apply for festivals and all that stuff was just like bah. And then the
Sure.
gumption to figure out what to do instead was just
Mhm.
I just didn't have the motivation, which
Yeah.
feels like therefore, yeah, because you feel like you put out a record and then you've got this small window of time to work as hard as humanly possible, work yourself to death. And if you
Hmm.
don't, and you miss that little sweet spot, then like within 4 weeks, your record's old. It's just
Yeah.
old news. And so you've
Yeah.
got that little window to just like punch it. And that's really hard for me to do, knowing I wasn't going to tour.
Yes.
And,
I think you can breathe
you know,
life into, a lot of people won't have heard the songs. So they'll always be new to somebody. And when it is safe to get back to touring or to, I think it's okay. I think the rules are out the window now. Like you set what do you want to do with it in a year? And if
yeah.
you're beyond it, if you're moved on to some other creative endeavors, then that's okay too. I think just the act of creating something and putting it out in the world um, is important, especially during this time. Christmas. It's almost
Christmas.
Christmas time. I mean, it's still far away,
It's
but
going to be here so fast. This year has just,
I hired you to do a music video because I saw the music videos you were doing for your new album, Cool, and I thought these are so fun and fresh and unique. And I follow you on Instagram. I'm a fan. I totally assumed you've been doing a visual art for. I didn't. I was like, she's probably been doing this her whole fucking life, and
yeah.
I was wrong. Did you start doing music videos in particular for yourself, and then people started seeing them? How did it evolve into like, yeah, it's this thing I can do for other people?
I had been doing visual art for a while. I drawing, watercolor, little bit of gouache, working in little acrylics, and wanted to do that more. Didn't really know what my medium was, or
Mm-hmm.
and then was putting this record out and coming to the realization that there was not going to be a CD release party, not something that the traditional CD release party, which was a huge
Yeah.
bummer.
Yeah.
I was pretty
Yeah.
upset about that.
It's not
I mean, we
cool.
worked on the record for over a year, and then to have it be like, so, and I knew I really didn't want to do a online like
Event.
live show. I knew I
Yeah.
didn't want to do that because it wasn't going to be with my band, because
Yeah.
we were quarantined.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to do a me and John version of this whole record that was all fleshed out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I decided I would make music videos. And I wasn't really sure how to do that. I did a little bit of research, but I was like, I'll figure it out. And made, like, the first ones I made are super stiff. I think they're kind of cute. They're super stiff. It almost seems stylistic, like purposefully stylistic, but it's actually
Yeah.
because I only knew how to do one or two things and I didn't.
Worked for me.
And so the first one I did was for a song called Up to Me.
Mhm.
And because I just was like, well, this one needs to get done. This is going to be the one I'm going to push to radio. And so it needs to have a thing.
Yeah.
And after finishing, like in the final stages of finishing that video, I realized something else I could do.
Mhm.
So I made another one. And by the time I made two, I was like, I'm going to make one for each one. So I'm going to make
Mhm.
13 music videos, and I'm going to release them in track order. Just play them all in track order
Yeah.
on the day of the release, like a show.
That's great.
So, like, you can't come back and see it later. It's like a live thing. And I'm going to do it. And meanwhile, I can, like, everybody can watch it and we can, like, live chat, and I'll have a beer and be hanging out with my friends online, not
Yeah.
performing,
Yep.
but whatever. And then we can have that party.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went, I worked with a publicist for a while, and told him my plan, and he was like, oh, okay, well, try and pitch that. And we were pitching the videos, trying to get them to be picked up or released some other way on websites or what have you. And it worked okay. It didn't have the bombastic effect I was hoping to be like, what are you telling me? 13 videos. I gotta see this. Like, that didn't really happen. But I also thought, well, I'm trying to pivot more to being a visual artist. And this will be also an opportunity for people to see
Yeah.
that I'm doing this. And if they like what they see, maybe I can get some work. And
Yeah.
I did get some work. I bartered a couple of them,
Yeah.
which is handy to have that in your pocket. Be like, oh, you do this for me, I do this for you. And people are like,
Mhm.
what a video, hell yeah. And so to be able to have that to trade is
Yeah.
handy.
Yeah.
And I was, 13 videos. It was crunch time. I think by the time, there was a point where I had like 10 left in 7 weeks, and I just like went
Wow.
into the mode.
You did it.
Yeah,
You
it
set
was so much fun. It was stressful, but it was a lot of fun. The thing that takes the longest is just figuring out where I'm going to start.
right. Yeah. So okay, tell
There's
me like about this video in particular. How what was that pivotal that like okay, I got this. Uh And then tell me about some of the challenges, if there were challenges, or like delights. Like what went really easy and what was like, I'm kind of stuck here.
um well, we had talked, and you had given me some great photographs of your family, some really cute pictures from Christmas of you and your siblings, and some with your parents. And I really liked those. And we had talked about the whole thing being really painterly and drawn, and not really like photographs with stuff around them. And
Hmm.
so I had started out just I started out like watching a bunch of like clips from old late 70s and 80s Christmas specials.
Hmm.
Just like,
Oh yeah, just to get in the
I don't
mood,
know, just
like
to kind of,
in
I
the vibe.
guess. So like,
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe there's something in here I'm supposed to see. And this is what I do. I
yeah,
just sit
yeah.
and
I do
Google a
that.
bunch of
Yeah,
stuff and like pour things into my eyeballs and
yeah.
see what happens.
Hmm.
And I remember, and we talked about this. I remember like glitter,
Hmm.
sparkles,
Hmm.
loads of tinsel and
Loads.
like
Yeah.
this kind of snowy effect being really big around
Hmm.
that time, kind of like they shake up the snowball and watch it, but in a room.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
if you see that much anymore. I'm not really, I don't watch TV specials anymore, whatever. I
I
think they've
don't.
changed a bit, but there
Yeah.
was a lot of fluff. There was a
Hmm.
lot of tinsel. There was a lot of, and something about seeing all that as gaudy as it was like, oh yeah, like, like
Hmm.
that meant Christmas to me.
Yes.
Um, so
Yeah.
when I had these photos that you'd given me, and I saw some of that in there, like the
The gaudy Christmas trees and the
1,000 pounds
yeah.
of tinsel
Yeah.
on a tree behind you. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
We used to just we'd put up all the ornaments and then we would coat the tree in tinsel. Didn't make any sense, but
My mom's tree is still like that, and we're
yeah.
performing online in front of it December 13th, and that's what people will see. And when
Yeah.
I gotta interject here with when we're helping my mom decorate her tree, and my brother and I and Dale are like, "Okay, that's enough bulbs," and mom's like, "Oh no 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 no," and there's more bulbs. Okay, mom, that's enough lights. Oh no 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 no, and then she literally like like drags out like six more
Yeah.
lines of lights, and then it's just like layer upon layer, and then the tinsel is a whole other. I think I have, because I convinced her that it was such a huge waste and bad for the environment. We now have like reusable tinsel.
Oh,
um
good.
yeah, but growing up you could hardly see the lights or the decorations. It was
Yeah.
all tinsel.
And I loved it because
Yeah,
it
I
was
think
like a disco tree.
then that's so that so is that what.
So, so seeing those photographs, I really like that, and I like that vibe, and so I started drawing them,
Mm,
and I do a combination, just sketching and tracing. You can do an overlay, kind of do a brief sketch, and then move it, and then do your own thing. And so I was doing that, and um, I like to not do a whole lot of detail when I draw people for
mm-hmm,
a lot of reasons. When it's really easy to make people look completely insane or just
mm,
like terrifying by little simple mistakes. And then when they're actual people, unlike, drawing a horse, if you
mm,
draw him a little off of what he actually looks like his face, it's still like, oh, it's a horse. It's not like you draw it and you're like, that's not Frank.
mm,
Like that doesn't look anything like Frank. But when it's
yeah,
a person, because we recognize faces and associate them with people and their personalities, if you get like a little side of somebody's face wrong or what have you, it's not the person
yeah,
anymore. So
mm-hmm,
I try to be really conservative and kind of, nondescript when it comes to drawing people. I don't like to
mm-hmm,
do a whole lot of detail, and I also think it's just sort of
I
less data for a
yeah.
person to have to take in. There's music, there's going to be lyrics going by, there's a background. You don't want to bombard people with stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I liked that the characters in the video. Um, I don't know them, but oh, I did make the cut. I did make the cut. There
you're in
is
there.
I
So
am in there, but no one knows exactly
yeah.
which,
Well,
probably.
what I was saying was that I did these drawings, all these drawings of your family, and then they're really kind of like nondescript, and then put them in the video.
Mm,
And the song is in a minor key, and you have a very distinct, like passionate songs, like singing style, and it's a minor key, and then there's these nondescript family people, and it looked like the darkest, like most murderous
awesome.
Christmas video. It's like kisses for Christmas really means like stabbings or something, like
Murder,
all these people are
genocide.
been murdered. And it
Oh,
was so, I was like,
I really still
oh,
want to see that version.
that's
I really do want to see that version, Seela. I think
well,
it's.
you can make that version. I think it'd be pretty easy. So I was just like, okay, this is not the direction to go. So I focused on the idea of like the lights and the twinkles, and I made some backgrounds.
Mm,
And then
mhm, mhm.
there's a picture of you.
Riding my little,
Should I describe? Yeah. So you're in it on your
yeah,
brand new little Hot Wheels. And
um,
so I just like over Christmased that
yeah,
piece.
yeah, it
There's all
was,
these lights, there's all that everything. And it was great
yeah,
because then at some point we had this conversation about your mother's over overdone tree. And I was like, oh, well, that'll work. And so
yep, it's
so
definitely
going from
overdone.
there, and like the lyrics of the song about reunion, and then about
Yeah,
there is also this sort of sentiment that can be taken a lot of different ways in that song, um like trading presents for time,
mm-hmm,
and and So I just sort
Yeah.
of I wanted to imply that the distance relationship, the coming together, the and
Which
also the lyric thing made it pretty cool to be able to do that.
I thought there was a really neat coincidence in there. I think it was a coincidence. I think I asked you about it, where the typewriter is typing out "Kisses for Christmas," the main line.
Yeah, it's a coincidence. Yeah.
And I have my last year's video involved me actually typing out a letter, and so I really loved how that all that for me that kind of tied in together because I mean
Yeah.
my long term plan is I just I just want to put out a Christmas single every year, and I want to use these photos or things inspired by the photos, perhaps um over time. I mean, it could be 8 to 10 years before I have an actual Christmas record out, my first.
Yeah.
um but wouldn't it be nice to have a common thread throughout? And so to see those things pop out even without me demanding it or asking for it was really kind of cool. It was sort of affirming. I was like, oh, this is like maybe we're definitely on the right path here. I'm so and I
That's
mean I
yeah, that did work out well.
that was really
I
cute,
just
cool.
like I like the look of that an old, you know, typewriter where the levers are exposed.
Yep,
Um,
I have
and
one.
I also, you could say that song kind of sounds like a letter,
Mm-hmm.
talking about the future,
Mm-hmm.
seeing you in the at a later date.
Yeah.
And so we
Yeah.
were picking. You had given me this. I'm looking over at my corkboard because that's where I had it when I was working on the video. But you'd given me lyrics that you'd highlighted. We talked about
Mhm.
which lyrics we're going to highlight,
Yeah.
and I kept thinking, like, how am I going to do the chorus?
Mhm.
And I'll recycle handwritten stuff a few times, but I don't want to do it every single time. And so
But
myself is
a
like,
little
oh, I'll do
repetition
that.
is, I think, good for the
Yeah,
viewer. People like they want to get back to something familiar at times, and I thought it was a really great balance.
yeah.
You did. You
I
did.
also think with like fonts and writing, you don't want to throw in five different styles. You want to keep it,
Yeah.
to two, maybe three.
Yeah.
Um, so I liked that. And when I was drawing the typewriter, I decided to replace some of the letters with little hearts,
Mhm.
just to like, it's like they're typing a little love letter. that was
Love it, and love
that
is
was
in the
kind of like,
details. It's one of my favorite things about working with the right, um, creator is that you kind of go, okay, here are some ideas, but I really trust you. I love what you do. That's nice too to be able to just
I appreciate
go,
that.
yeah, you were
I appreciate you
wonderful.
trusting me. I appreciate you trusting me. I'm such a control person, especially over things creative, and completely letting go of something, and
Hmm.
having somebody else do it is a really hard thing for me to do with any sort of creative stuff. And so I
Hmm.
really appreciate that. And I'm so happy you like it. I have this other super duper side hustle,
Are you
super
talking
secret
the
side
bread?
hustle with, yeah, I'm the
Oh,
South Austin bread fairy,
yes.
and I
I
deliver bread every week. And I
so
just raised
cool.
my prices,
Yes.
and raising my price like $5 on the
Yeah.
original five.
Uh-huh.
The people that got me started. I've got 19 clients now, and they're paying 2020 prices. And
Hmm.
if I get more people next year, they'll pay some. But on the first, people had not had their prices raised, and I raised their prices
Hmm.
by $5 a month, and
That's
it was
not
struggled with it,
really, you did or they
because
did,
I did.
but
I
they
was
were
like,
okay.
well, they were fine.
Good. Okay.
They were
Yeah.
fine, but
I know that's hard for.
when you work for yourself, you're just like,
Mhm.
well,
Yeah, and you think about your time and what people pay when they go elsewhere and what we spend our money on and value, and then compare it to that beautiful
right.
thing that you make that people need and want and crave,
And
um
I deliver it. That's
and
the
you
other thing. I mean, I
deliver.
deliver it to their,
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. Every Friday they open up their mailbox, they get a text from me, they open their mailbox, there's fresh bread.
It's
It was just
incredible.
baked that morning. Organic, sourdough,
Yeah.
friggin', yeah.
Any of my fans watching from Austin, FYI, contact the South Austin Bread Ferry, which Seela,
Yeah,
obviously,
you can
but
find me. You gotta live in South Austin, you gotta be in my delivery zone.
okay.
You know,
Yeah. Or
there's
what
a
if they
whole
came to pick it up?
there's pickup options.
Okay.
Yeah. I have some pickup options if you want to get in touch.
Tell me about some all-time like favorite holiday traditions with your family then and now.
when we were little kids, we lived in Canada or in upstate New York, we did the whole decorating the tree and all that in
Mhm.
the evening. But there was one thing that we did that I really enjoyed was we had these crazy like spotlight things. There was a blue one, I think,
Mhm.
and a white one that my dad would set up in the yard and aim at the house.
My dad did that too. Not
And
blue, but like, why was he just to add a
it was a
festive?
Christmas thing. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the house was already decorated with lights and stuff, or
Okay.
maybe there was something on the door. I don't know. I think one year we wrapped the front door to look like a present,
Okay. Clever.
but boom, boom, these big lights
Just
on the house. And I know that that wasn't something that the children were involved or needed for, but
right.
I have memories of my dad setting up those lights and me and my sister in full snowsuit, set up making snow angels while dad's setting up lights, and us
That's
going like, yeah, we're gonna decorate the yard with these and make snow angels. And I
that's
don't live anywhere where there's snow anymore. I'm in
yeah,
Texas.
right.
So my husband and I, it's just the two of us living here, and in the past several years, we've had either a guest or a roommate
Yeah.
um when we at Christmas. And last year we had two. We had a guest, we had a friend staying, she was recovering from surgery, and then we had a roommate. And our Christmas tradition
Mhm.
is that, a lot of people have where you're allowed to open one present on Christmas Eve,
Mhm.
which we don't do that, but your stocking. You can, so
Mm,
everybody has a
we
stocking. I've
did
made
that.
everybody's stockings, has their initial on it.
Yeah.
Liza has a stocking.
Oh,
She
she's so
gets the
lucky.
most stuff. But you get to open your stocking in the evening, like some point after dinner.
That's
And
what we
there's
did.
usually like tiny bottles of booze, maybe an
Okay.
orange, some
Yeah.
candy,
Old school.
some sort of gadget,
Yeah.
this cool keychain that can do a bunch of things. But
That's fun. You still do that. You're
it's,
gonna do it this year for John and Liza.
yep,
Yeah. You're on Patreon with your
yes,
visual art,
I'm on
but
Patreon.
yeah.
There's musicy stuff on there too.
Okay.
Um, my Patreon people actually have the link to a secret space where that
Ooh.
video of the entire record is.
Oh,
Only for them right now. Yeah, the
okay.
video that has all the videos I've made in track order. I have been releasing them one at a time. I think I have like 5 of them are out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just released them on Facebook, and you can find them through my Facebook page.
Okay.
I have a website,
Mhm.
which is iamseela.com, kind of like I am legend, IAMSEELA.com.
Mhm.
And that's got all the music stuff, and that's like promoting that record I released in July. The record's called Cool,
It
and
is
it's on
cool.
Bandcamp.
I love it.
It's got a picture of my dad on the front. It's on Bandcamp. Um, I also I'm working on an art website, which it's slow going, with like drawings and prints and stuff. But
Mhm.
my Patreon people also get a postcard every month that has a, a image of an original art piece that I did, and then there's some writing on the back. Come
Hey,
on over to Patreon. There's fun
yeah.
stuff happening. Some videos of me making pots in ceramics class.
Well, I love talking to you. We'll catch up again soon.
Me
Can we do that?
too.
Can we?
Yes, please.
Okay, cool. And I have also your last letter is on my desk. Because my next week I have something to
And
send you.
I made an envelope.
Oh, cool. I love your envelopes.
This artist theft on it.
Uh, I just
Pablo
speaking of that,
Picasso.
I just stole a Tom Petty and a Paul Westerberg song, and I'm writing a song. Um, and I have clearly in this example stolen from both of their songs into making one.
Excellent.
Yeah, sure.
They probably stole from others as well.
Thank you. Enjoy baking bread and making art. Bye,
Shall.
Seela.
Yeah, let's talk soon.